So I watched The Devil All the Time, and it wasn't great. I liked all the actors. I think Tom Holland has the potential to be great as he grows as a performer. He just needs the right roles to prove that he's not all spider charm. And Robert Pattinson could leave leading man roles behind and make a hell of a career just being a weird character actor. Plus the cinematography throughout is really solid, but overall I felt the film was reaching for this epic scope and scale, but fell short. Worse, and this is just me, watching it reminded me of one of my favorite films. The Place Beyond the Pines tells a more intimate version of the story that just feels more profound, so I'm gonna dig into the two of them a little. I'm Greg, and this is The Devil All the Time and The Place Beyond the Pines. Let's do this. Oh, and spoilers for both. So both of these movies are about the violent and criminal acts of men and how those actions affect their children when they grow up. Each one also tries to capture a snapshot of American life at a certain point in time. Pines looking at the 90s and 2000s in New York State, and Devil? Do I just call it Devil? Both these movie titles are mouthfuls. The Devil All the Time covers the South in the 50s and 60s. Like I said, both movies are about violence and how that is passed down from generation to generation, intentional or not. They also both have connections to religion, specifically Christianity. In The Place Beyond the Pines, Derek Cianfrance was drawing from his own relations to Catholicism.
And that's when I started writing it, when my wife was pregnant in 2007. She was pregnant with our second son, Cody, and I was thinking all about legacy. I was thinking about everything I was born with and everything I was going to pass on to my son, and I was just thinking that, yeah, I wanted him to come into the world clean. I mean, as he was going to come in the world clean, and I was the one that felt, dirty. I felt like I didn't want to soil him with my sins. I grew up Catholic, of course, so I feel like everything I did was, a sin.
But only pulls that out of the subtext for one scene. Ryan Gosling's character Luke, who is the lead for the first third of the movie, makes the choice that he's going to turn to crime to support his son, while he watches another man baptize his child. That is the choice that propels each story going forward in the movie. The Devil All the Time is much more overt in its religious text. I mean, it's right in the name. It makes a direct connection between religion and the dark acts committed by its characters, two of them even being priests. Except not always. It doesn't always do that. Two characters, Carl and Sandy, are serial killers whose motivations are sexual, not religious. That's okay, because there's tons of connections in real life between sexuality and religion, right? Then there's Sandy's brother, Sheriff Lee. All of his violent acts, they come from good old-fashioned greed and corruption. So now we're looking at two movies that are both about generational violence and have religion in them, either a little bit or a lot. But that's not much to build a comparison on, you say, despite there still being a lot of this video and you not being a real person making that argument. There are a few more things worth comparing, because these movies are using the same tools, but what they do with their tools really shows off how they're different, and how I think Derek Cianfrance's film uses them better. Both films run for about the same length, but use their time very differently. The Place Beyond the Pines follows the story linearly, first following Ryan Gosling's story, passing it off to Bradley Cooper dealing with corruption, and then jumping forward in time to their teenage sons dealing with the consequences of the first two-thirds. You can easily fit these three short stories into how we most typically study film structures, the three acts. The Devil All the Time tells Bill Skarsgård's entire story, then goes back to tell Dudley Dursley's. After that, we go forward to the kids, who have grown up together. While all that's being told, we get little bits of the serial killer couple on their spree. We also get a scene early on with Officer Winter Soldier, connecting him to Tom Holland, and then we don't see him again until we find out that he's Sandy's brother. Then we slowly get his corruption story and him trying to get revenge. It's a lot going on. Now, there's nothing wrong with twisty, complicated plots. I think they're fun, it's just in this case, I don't think it really lands. Between all that going on, and the narrator explaining character motions and plot points, you end up with something very dense, so dense you don't have room to breathe. The character motivations in The Devil All the Time are pretty shallow. Violent characters are either that way because of revenge, or that's just how they are. The only one motivated by anything special is Dudley Dursley, who kills his wife because he thinks God told him to. With The Place Beyond the Pines, you have a wider array of reasons for why these characters are doing their shit. You have a man providing for his son, a cop seeing how he can stop corruption for his own gain, and a son who feels like an outsider and is lashing out at the people that he thinks caused it. and that all feels real. We get plenty of time with each character, and we see them process their emotions instead of us being told them. Even minor characters like Jason's stepdad get enough time to feel real and understandable. Nothing feels rushed in The Place Beyond the Pines. Everything in The Devil All the Time does. That feeling I have is at the core of my problems. If The Devil All the Time was adapted into a mini-series, we could have had more room to breathe and the character depth I feel we needed. The Devil All the Time wanted to be epic. A sprawling film with all these different angles it looks at with its story. And even though I didn't hate it, I keep thinking it stands in the shadow of another film. The Place Beyond the Pines is a deep, emotional story. One that when you watch it, you really feel like you've seen something special. I felt that the first time I saw it in theaters. I feel that every time I see it. And I hope I always do. I hope you enjoyed my look at the two films. Let me know if you did. That'd be cool. And until next time, have a good one. Hello?
Hey, how's the video going?
Just about done. Not sure what to do for the next one, though. I think I need a little movie break.
You should do sneakers.
Maybe? Hey, why'd you just immediately ask your question as soon as I answered? You didn't say hi or anything. It's kind of awkward. Like they do in movies.
I don't know. Is it the same as how people just hang up as soon as the conversation is over?
Yeah, kind of.